Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out with this short video to inform you that I will soon be conducting your Safety Management System SMS Recurrent Refresher Training Session at your station. This training is part of the aviation organization's ongoing commitment to maintaining a proactive and effective safety management system. Why this training matter? As you know, SMS recurrent training is conducted every 2 years. Its purpose is not only to refresh your knowledge of the SMS framework, but also to emphasize how it applies in our day-to-day operations. In this video, I'll briefly revisit some requirements and key components. First of all, let's look into the regulatory requirements. The implementation of SMS is not optional. It is a regulatory requirement guided by International Civil Aviation Organization, Annex 19 Safety Management, International Civil Aviation Organization Document 9859 Safety Management Manual, Civil Aviation Directive CAD 19, Civil Aviation Guidance Material CAGM 1902, which outlines the structure and expectations for SMS in Malaysia, additionally under MCAR 2016. Regulation 167, all service providers must establish an SMS. These include an approved training organization that are exposed to safety risks related to aircraft operations during the provision of their services, a holder of air operator certificate issued by authority, an approved maintenance organization providing services to the holder of air operator certificate issued by authority, any organization responsible for the type, design, or manufacture of aircraft, an air traffic control service provider, a person licensed under the Malaysian Aviation Commission Act 2015 to operate an aerodrome, any operator of an aeroplane registered in Malaysia with a maximum certificated takeoff mass exceeding 5,700 kilograms or equipped with one or more turbojet engines used in any international general aviation operations, and an approved maintenance organization providing services for the operator of an aeroplane registered in Malaysia with a maximum certificated take-off mass exceeding 5,700 kilograms or equipped with one or more turbojet engines used in any international general aviation operations. If the organization falls into any of these categories, an SMS is mandatory, which I believe is the point already emphasized in your initial SMS class. During our classroom session, we will discuss in detail how your SMS functions and contributes to safety performance. Review practical applications of SMS in your daily operations. Complete an assessment to identify areas for improvement. The assessment is not about blame, it is about identifying gaps, closing them, and strengthening the process. Your honest input will help me tailor the session to make it more meaningful and impactful. Core principles of SMS must integrate technology, regulations, human factors, and organizational practices to continuously drive safety improvement. We must remember that absolute safety is not possible. If we aimed for zero risk, we would have to ground all aircraft due to the inherent risks of flying, which is clearly unrealistic. Hazards will always exist whether the aircraft is flying on the ground or stored in a hangar. Instead, we aim to reduce risk to a level that is as low as reasonably practicable. Safety requires a continuous process of hazard identification, risk management, and monitoring. Other way to see if the safety management system manage safety in a proactive manner, we can ask four simple questions. The first one, what is most likely to cause the next accident or incident? This question is another way of asking, do you know what the most important risks are in your operation? It gets interesting when you ask this question because in an organization, if different levels and or departments answer this question very differently, it is an indication that the organization as a whole is not clear about which risks are the most important. The second question is, how do you know about your risk? This evaluates how well your SMS is functioning, what kind of hazard data and investigation capability is available to identify risk in the organization. Third question is, what are you doing about these risks? It is obvious that just knowing what the highest risks are is not going to make your organization safer. Action needs to be taken to reduce these risks by investing time, money, and effort in risk controls that bring the risk down to an acceptable level. This is where the justification of hazards, risks, or threats, unsafe events, and their consequences must be clearly defined and assessed. By doing so, you can ensure that time and resources are not wasted on unnecessary safety risk mitigation. Last question, number four, assuring that your organization is safe. Ask this: are your risk controls still working? The organization might have invested in risk controls in the past, but over time, the effectiveness of these controls might degrade. If people stop paying much attention to following rules and procedures, the likelihood of having an accident might increase, so action on verification is required to reduce the risk. This is the purpose of having safety management systems. We will discuss the various elements that we have to put in place to answer these four questions above. Let's leave that for now and move on to the four pillars of SMS. SMS is built upon four essential components and 12 elements, which is safety policy and objectives about leadership commitment and accountability, safety risk management about identifying, assessing, and mitigating risk, safety assurance about monitoring, measuring, and improving performance, safety promotion about training, communication, and cultivating a positive safety culture. So now, how does an SMS work? When we go into risk-based decision making and make a simple model of safety risk management, we can describe what the safety management system should look like. It should be a systematic and proactive approach to managing safety. In order to work, the SMS has to have organization structures such as accountabilities, policies, and procedures. SMS is a data gathering tool about risk in the operation. Risk is generated by hazards which can cause harm or damage. If the risk control doesn't work, particularly in aviation operations, the biggest source of hazard identification comes from staff reports. There are a few conditions, however, that need to be fulfilled before we start to get useful reports from staff member. First of all, they need to know what to report. This is a matter of safety training. They need to feel comfortable reporting, meaning that they are not worried that something bad will happen to them if they admit to an unsafe act. It is important to get information that has a chance to improve the operation. This is why the introduction concept of just culture. And of course, it is very important to give feedback to the people who make the reports. This is a safety promotion function, letting them know what has been done and how things work in the safety department. From what I've mentioned above, the pillar is there to create an infrastructure for the safety risk management, safety assurance, and safety promotion functions to work, and supports the other three functions, and it defines the philosophy of the organization toward its safety management, which is captured in the safety policy, which describes who is accountable for safety, the key personnel functions of the SMS, planning and coordination of the emergency response plan, and how SMS should be documented is the first step. Earlier, I have already covered most aspects of an organization's SMS structure, from regulatory requirements, safety policy and objectives, safety risk management, safety assurance, and safety promotion. This serves as a general refresher to help kickstart our session soon. What to expect in our session? We'll explore how SMS concepts integrate into the organization's procedures, examples from your own safety data, the role each of you plays in enhanced SMS performance, The session will be interactive, practical, and relevant to your operations. Please feel free to bring examples or questions from your own work. To prepare, I encourage you to scan the QR code in the email provided to you soon and share your input before the session. Thank you for taking the time to watch this briefing. I look forward to engaging with all of you in our upcoming session as we continue building a safer and more resilient safety culture in the aviation industry together. Take care and see you soon.